I welcome you guys back into my nice video over here. I understand every single day that you guys understand how you can really live life. You have to understand that when you're living life, guys, you're living it to the fullest. You're making sure every single day that you get yourself a new selfie stick when you have to, so that you can do your videos nice and properly, so that the selfie stick doesn't drop while you're doing a video. Because sometimes you realize that every single day, that what's happening every single day is your eye. Your eye is something very important, but understand that anything that's not the eye today is something that doesn't really matter, because anything that's I is I love you. I understand every single day I go and make sure that I go and do my content regardless of what's going on around the world. But I understand today is different, because I understand there is some rain outside. I understand there's some storm outside. I understand that in Sydney right now for the next week is going to be stormy and rainy and cloudy. I understand either way that I come here in my nice beautiful time capsule in Chinatown, Sydney, where it's the Q Space Hotel. I understand I give $22 a night over here for a single nice beautiful time capsule that I have. I understand either way, I make sure every single day that I go live alone. I live alone without other people. I live because I understand that I don't need other people to live my life. I don't need to be around women. I don't need to be around other people, because what's important today is my legacy. I realize it's important today that I give you the information that's going to help your life every single day. I understand when I do that, I always have something more to say. I always have something more to do. So I always make sure that I compound that nice, beautiful information into a nice, beautiful video, so that I can go and do something very productive. Because I understand that what's productive today is making sure that everybody's smart and making sure that everybody's nice and beautiful, because nice and beautiful people grow. I understand anybody who grows today is somebody who really has a developing strategy. I understand anything that's a developing strategy is IUQ rule. I understand either way. I realize that's how I talk. I understand every single day you understand the IUQ rule is I and you and a question. I understand I use the you in action. I understand that every single day I talk in a different manner, because I understand communication skills is something that you have to develop every single day in a different way, because those who don't really develop a communication skill do not understand what that is. I understand either way that I had just make sure that the air condition in my nice beautiful time capsule here is just switched off, so everybody can listen to my nice beautiful audio much clearer, in terms of much clearer. So I understand that it can also be said with clearly intent in terms of life. I understand that when I switch off the air condition, you can hear me clearly. I understand either way that communication is something really important. So those who have communication skills are the ones who are able to really do so, or else they're able to do something productive, or else they're able to do something around knowledge. I understand knowledge workers are somebody who have a passion towards something. You have to have a passion towards something, but understanding that when you're alone in life and when you're doing something alone, I understand it's very important that you do so. I understand that you don't need other people to succeed. You don't need me to succeed. You just need the information. You need information to make sure that you're giving that information, and you have to go alone and do that information daily, because that's how you're really going to succeed. You're going to succeed through giving that knowledge daily. You understand? Or else anybody who gives that knowledge daily are people who are going to be far more successful than the ones who have no YouTube channels and who have no Instagrams and who are not going public with their Instagrams and their life. Because understand that every single day I go and expose my journal. I expose everything in my life, and everything I'm doing every single day, I'm exposing. I'm always exposing my career. I'm exposing the type of individual I am. I'm exposing my face. I'm exposing everything about my life, and all the secrets is already exposed inside of my journal in terms of my eye. I understand every single day I go and always develop that strategy of exposing more of my life, because the more I expose about my life, or else the more you understand my story. You understand? Or else all your secrets that you never want to tell other people, you have to expose that about yourself, so that you can be in the spotlight. Because those people who don't expose their secrets and something that they're fearing to say to other people are the ones who will never be famous. You understand? You have to understand that if you want to do anything in terms of expose everything that you are, you do it in a journal first. You do it in writing. I mean, just write everything you've ever done in a journal and just upload it online. And then let it be like that. And then just continue the exposing of your life. And eventually, you're going to say, this journal I'll show the world in 72 years' time. Or else when I pass away, or else that journal is going to be really done and dusted in terms of I'll be showing everybody. I'll be showing everybody. Also, in terms of my life, I'm always showing right now everything about my life. You can always catch up with those journals that I'm saying for you to expose. You understand? I understand when you expose those journals of yours, I understand either way that you're going to get more confident, you're going to have more courage, you're going to have more abilities and skills and talents to understand that you can always practice those talents on paper. Whereas now, it's much faster to write it today in terms of the keyboard, whereas the keyboard on your phone is a faster method today to understand that back in the days, that whereas they had the typewriters, whereas they had those laptops but without screens, and they're just typing. When they're just typing on the typewriters, I realize that's the faster way to do writing today. Although, guess what? I realize that now I understand the fastest way is the phones. I understand it's not the laptop. I understand I have a laptop, but I never use the typewriter. I never go on the keyboard and start typing on the laptop. Why don't I type on the laptop? Because I have phones. I can go and type anything at Woolworths in terms of supermarkets or clothing stores or in the cinema. I don't have to bring my laptop with me. Although I understand now, I bring my laptop with me just in case, because I never know what's going to happen. I never know, because I'll never come back. So once I bring my shoulder bag, or else my nice beautiful laptop comes with me, and I also do music production on the go somewhere. I can go and open up my nice beautiful software and my laptop and start doing music on the beach. I may want to go on the beach. Either way, I make sure I plan my day. So before I even go out of my time capsule over here in before I even go out of my time capsule here in Q Space Hotel, I have to understand where I'm going. I have to understand I'll be going to Town Hall to do this, and then from there I'll go Woolworths and I'll come back here. I understand that's just my plan. I realize that's one of my plans. Now that's it. I just focus on today's plan. What am I going to do for the whole week? I realize the whole week I'll just do some street performance, for example, and I'll go to this place and this place, and I'll go to Woolworths and come back here. That's a 7-day plan. You understand? Now what times? I'll just do flexible times. I'll go anytime I feel like it. I have to go between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. for example. I have to go between that time. Now I understand that either way, I have to minimally go from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. because I understand either way that my nice beautiful curfew is 6 p.m. So I have to always leave by 5. I have to leave by 4 o'clock so I can get there at 5. Or so that I can get there at 5 in terms of I have to leave it here at 4 so I can get there at 4:30 so I can do a 1 hour program. Although I leave a bit extra, I leave a bit earlier. I leave around 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock. I understand either way, I make sure I go do my programs. But for now, whereas my plan here is to stay here in my nice beautiful time capsule and to do my videos over here. Because I understand that either way, that just yesterday I went to the nice and beautiful street performance and busking program. I went to do it. I understand it started raining. I understand after 20 minutes, or it started raining, I had to pack up. I walked there 30 minutes and then I went somewhere else to just finish up my video in a different format, such as this, where it's a nice beautiful close-up, where it's not a busking and street performance. So I'm always developing a strategy that if somebody tries to take away what I do, I find a way to go work around them so that I can go and do what I love to do more than what they love me to do. You understand? I understand I never want to do what other people want me to do, because what they want is not what I want. I understand when they go and throw you in a 9-to-5 job, I understand they say, if you don't work a 9-to-5 job, you'll never have money. I understand that is a cursor to say that money is much more important than yourself. You have to understand you are much more important than money. So understand that it's not about the money, or else it's about the time. Or else the time is much more important than the money. I understand when you give 8 hours of your life, or else it's worth more than $200. I promise you. 8 hours of your time you can invest into working on yourself rather than forklift driving and trying to get the box to go up there. That's not working on yourself. You understand? That's not working. That's helping yourself to drive, but you're driving a forklift. You understand? Whereas it doesn't help you much. Although understand me now that the whole point of a 9-to-5 job is to help you. You have to understand it's to help you grow. But understand that the whole point of 9-to-5 is to also make sure that you go and do something on the side so you don't have to work a 9-to-5 job all your life. I understand that's why I have all these life coaching videos, because I understand that no matter what happens, I have some money saved up. I understand that I never ever work a 9-to-5 job. I have some money already. I understand either way that I make sure that I go and show you. I understand either way. I understand that I just make sure that I get that money. I get that money, or else that the government gave me that money. I understand either way. I save up that money. I save up the money that the government gives me. I understand I can live on $10 a day. Or else that no matter what amount of money I have right now, I understand that, say I have $2,000, or else, let's just say I have $2,000, or else that's 200 days I can live for free. I can live for free for 200 days. I can live on $10 a day, and I have my biological dad's nice, beautiful accommodation where it's for free. And I can continue doing these nice, beautiful videos for 200 days. I mean, that's me doing my work, at least. I'm at least doing my work. I'm at least away from 9 to 5 and other people. I'm at least just cruising life for the next 200 days. Or else now, what happens after the 200 days when that money, or else when that money may run out? Or else then I just make sure to go work on 9 to 5. I'll go work on 9 to 5 for about 2 weeks to 1 month. I'll save up $1,000. You understand? And then I'll leave the 9 to 5 job altogether. I'll just quit. And then I have $1,000 again. I realize now I have another 100 days worth of freedom. I have 100 days worth of freedom. I mean, do you understand? I realize now I have the $100 days worth of freedom to go and do my work again. I don't have to go driving to 9 to 5 and all that anymore. You understand? Although if I work 9 to 5, I work 15 hours a week. Minimum. And then if you calculate 15 hours a week, which is the basic law of Australia, where you have to work 15 hours a week for the next whatever. I mean, that's the minimal requirement that you must work. Or else, in a way, I understand that's a 9 to 5 requirement. Or else now, your real requirement of work must be 24/7. You must work more than 15 hours. You must work more than the 9 to 5ers if you want to become something more. Or else 9 to 5 work is just for 9 to 5 work. Or else that many people go through Monday to Sunday, and they may work 5 days a week, or else they may work 2 days a week. I mean, they may work 7 days a week. And what happens? Or else they're working 9 to 5. And after the 9 to 5, or else once they finish their job at 9 to 5, or else that's it. Or else they come into their accommodation, and what do? I mean, they're watching TV, and they're drinking alcohol, and smoking drugs, and chasing women, and going to the brothels and escorts, and playing poker, and competition, and gambling. I mean, that's not a life. And they're not reading. Or else they're not reading. I mean, they're not following mentors. I mean, they're not updating themselves around the economy with somebody who's a millionaire and billionaire. I mean, they've got no mentors. I mean, they're just wasting life, and they're just waiting for the weekend. And then they go clubbing and night clubbing to do drugs. And then festivals on the weekend. You know what I'm saying? I realize that's not the life. I used to do that. I used to do all that. Although understanding now that what's important is understand that when you do something, learn from it. You learn from it, totally. I mean, I'm not going to make these videos forever. I'll make these videos forever in a different format. And I'll do it somewhere else. I mean, it's not always going to be in Q-Space Hotel. Although I have to do my work when I go. I understand anybody who's really famous today is traveling. I mean, is that correct? I understand that it's really yes. I understand either way that it's not yes or no. I understand I say yes, I say no. I say yes, I say no. I understand either way that there is no correct method. Or there's nothing correct about this. Although there's nothing right and there's nothing wrong about this video. Otherwise, this video is just informing you, isn't it? I'm just entertaining you in a different manner. Although I'm entertaining you by persuading you and informing you about something, which is leadership and making sure that you understand the quality of work life and balance. I understand anybody who wants work life much more are the ones who have to work on themselves. I understand over the next 72 years, I can just be with I don't have to be with you. I don't have to be with the crowd. I left the crowd. I realized the crowd hates me. I realized all the Serbian people from the past, I realized they hate me so much. I mean, they're always looking to backstab me. I don't want to be around those people. I understand when I was growing up, I started doing drugs with them. I realized they're still talking about my bag and backstabbing me, even though I hang out with them. I hang around with them and do drugs with them. And then guess what? I realize they go and backstab me to all these women because they want the woman to never go with me, because they want the woman to go with them. I realized that no matter what, I realized I was a drug addict. I understand that now. I left the crowd and they're still talking shit. They're talking a lot of crap because I posted one video and calling all the Serbian people pussies. I understand either way. I understand that is something that I said so that I can get some promotion. Or else when I go and name countries, all this crap, I understand that it's going to go around the country. You understand? Or else it's going to go spreading viral about what Danny Milivojevic said. I understand then everybody's going to see it and everybody's going to hate me. Or else why are they going to hate me? Because I said some words. Or else they don't like it. Or else when you don't like my words, or else you hate me then. I mean, love my words. I mean, love the individual I am. I mean, don't hate what I say, because what I do is not what I say. Or else now, what I do is what I say. I understand what I do is what I say, but I understand that when somebody is actually saying something towards me in terms of life where they believe my words, you have to understand my words is something that is going to guide you. So collect more of it. I mean, collect more words and question what I say. I mean, question everybody, but look at what I do and not what I say. I understand they just look at what I say and not what I do. I understand these Serbian people are throwing this video around that I spread out. I sent it to them. I said, yeah, or else they're going to share it all in my life. Or else when I'm much more popular, or else Serbia's going to get the video and they're going to say, why did you say this? I said that video so that everybody can go and see me. I have over thousands of hours of videos to give you in life coaching. I realize that those Serbian people who are really sharing this viral information about Serbian pussies all over the planet, I said they haven't even started their YouTube channel. I mean, they're not successful. I mean, they have no Instagrams. I mean, come on. You have to understand either way that those people hate me. I understand they're going to share me around. I understand that's the whole point. Or else it's an advertisement technique. Or else you go and say something and they will eventually promote you. I understand either way. I understand that, for example, I have a individual who understands that when I say something, or else she goes and loves somebody else over me. You don't go loving other people more than me. You don't love your sister, you don't love your brother and cousins more than me. Or else that's not how God loves us. Or else God loves Jesus just as much as you. I mean, do you feel loved now? You have to feel loved, because God loves Jesus Christ just like God loves you. Or else now, if you love your brother and sister and cousin and everything more than me, or else, I mean, how are you doing what God is doing? I mean, why would you love your cousins and brothers and sisters more than me? Because that's like saying God loves Jesus more than you. I mean, how does that work? You have to love your cousins and everybody in your family just like you love me. You have to understand you have to love us equally. You have to love everything equally, because God loves everything equally. Understand? So realize anybody who's trying to get into your pants, you say something like this. You say, I love you anyway. You're very funny. Because understand that when I go and write a message to a woman and I say, you must go behind your husband's back to get with me and have sex with me, I say as a joke. Or else that I want to get some information about her. And then she blocks me after 10 years of friendship. Or else that she loves him more than me. Or else she loves him more than me. So she is somebody that I can never trust anyway. Or else that she just proves to me that she doesn't love everybody equally. Or else all she has to say is, shut up, Danny. Or else all she has to say is, shut up, idiot. I love you anyway. I say, thank you very much. I'll go find another woman. You understand? You understand? Although we're still friends. Or else we're still friends. You understand? But she doesn't want to be my friend because I wrote some words. You get it? I understand either way that many people are like that. Or else they love other people more than you. But it's a joke. And she takes it literally. Or else either way, understand. I understand that she's got somebody. I understand that. Although, even if she said yes, I understand either way. I would never go for it. I'd never go for it. You understand? I have no reason to. Or else if she wants to go for me, I mean, go for it. You can come and get me. I'll never go for it. Or else either way, understand that what's important is something that you love to do. I understand, I love to do this. I love to do some life coaching and music production. I have a nice, beautiful time capsule here in Q Space Hotel. I give some money and I'm enjoying my life. I don't have to go with the boys to chase women at the Star Casino in Sydney on a Friday and Saturday night. I don't have to go where they go. I don't have to go to nightclubs to get some woman today, because that's not value. I mean, there's no value there. I mean, there's no value giving. I mean, anybody who's going to nightclubs today and chasing women and going to bars and nightclubs because they're hanging around egotistical people who are not giving information but just looking at each other. I mean, that's boring. I mean, it's boring. I mean, it's boring to just go somewhere and just look at you only. I mean, what's that? I mean, that's boring. I mean, what's not boring is go alone. I mean, be alone and travel alone. You'll understand the interesting lifestyle that other people don't care about you one bit. Or else other people don't care about you one bit. But guess what? I at least went around Australia for free. And also, I make sure every single day I have more and more coming. You understand? Because everything's for free. Or else everything's for free. Or else the money that you gain today is for free. Or else you're either gaining it through real estate because you went to the bank to get the money for free. I mean, they give you money for free. I mean, you have to understand, if you want to become a real estate expert or anything, you become a student first. But understand, if you want big real estate, I mean, how are you going to get $10 billion? You go to the bank. I mean, it's for free. I mean, the money's for free. Although, guess what? Or else if you can make more money on your real estate than what the bank gives you, or else the bank will give you money, but just prove it. You understand? I mean, why is it that they get the money, but the government doesn't give you money? I mean, understand either way that the 9-to-5 job is not the way to go. And real estate is also something that you have to understand that Jesus Christ will never do it. You understand? Because Jesus Christ understands that it's not about the plastic money. I promise you, it's not about the plastic money. So anything that you're investing time into real estate to get these massive mansions of yourself in terms of the real estate, to make money so you can sell it for a higher price, so you can scam somebody on real estate, is not what Jesus does. Or else Jesus doesn't do that. Or else those who own real estate today and put people in real estate, or else, yes, or else you get some cash flow and you get you out of the 9-to-5. I say, yeah. But what happens is you start to scam other people. You start to say that this house is worth $10 million when it's worth $5 million. You understand? Or else you raise the price, and then the price of rent goes up, and the price of living goes up, and the price of everything goes up. And why is that? Because the government is printing money. Or else now that's called inflation. And now because real estate's going up in price, or else you have to understand that's why real estate is going down in terms of price as well. Or else less people are gaining real estate today in terms of actually owning it. You have to understand, less people are owning real estate today, and less people are also less likely to give, in terms of to go to the bank to get real estate, to put more people into those homes. You have to understand that it's free money anyway. Although, guess what? Or else the bank will give you the money. Although then you have to make sure that you have 25% of the, you have to make sure that you have 25% of the down payment. You understand? Although then what? Or else then, guess what? Or else the bank can say, you guys just have to make a 10% down payment and we'll give you the rest. And then the bank can really say, we'll give you 5% of the down payment. In terms of, you must gain 5% of the down payment then, because that's how the laws can really change. Or else that today's laws in terms of real estate is, if a real estate is $1 million, you have to come up with 25% of the down payment before anything happens. Or else that the bank will not give you money unless you give 25% of your money for that real estate first, because they have to see that you're backing it up. I realize although that the law can change, and it can say that because the real estate is going up in price, or else because the real estate is going up in price, and I'm not wrong. Although understand that the bank can say that there's a new law, and we made a new law, and we are making happier customers. Although now you have to come up with 10% of the down payment instead of 25%, because we understand that the real estate is going up in price. Or else now that can happen. Or else that can happen. Or else they can change the law really quickly. And then guess what? Or else everybody wins. But really, we don't win either way. We don't win either way. Or else even if you go and do real estate and you're putting people in their homes, or else you're working for the plastic money. You're working for the Bitcoin. You're working for cryptocurrency. You're working for the stock market. You're not working for Jesus Christ. You're not working for the Bible. You're not working to give people free information to live life. Whereas now, if you want to be a real estate guru, I mean, teach people about real estate, and that's it. I mean, don't get involved into real estate except teaching it. I mean, don't go chasing these houses so you can put people into the accommodation. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not doing it for the people, you're doing it for the money. You're not doing it for the people. Or else if you're doing it for the people, I mean, go make information products and give them to them for free. Or else now you understand why I'm doing this, because I'm doing it for the people. Or else now understand that they, in terms of people who go to real estate and put people in real estate today, are not doing it for the people. I see that they're doing it for the plastic money. Because if the plastic money value is not there anymore, or else they'll never get into real estate. Or else they'll never get into real estate. Or else they're doing it for the plastic money and not for you. And not for themselves either. Or else they're just completely missing the point. You understand? Because Jesus, I mean, do you see Jesus today owning real estate in this world? I mean, why would you own the world? I mean, why would you put yourself in a situation of real estate in the first place? I understand now the millennials are much more likely, because we're somebody in terms of a new generation here, and we're the youngest generation, but there is something younger now. Or they understand that we're now the leaders. I mean, we're the future. And understand the future is now, or they understand that more millennials today are renting. Or as we're the renting class. I understand that's excellent. Although I understand that anybody who is older generations from the millennials, I understand they are the ones who are getting into real estate. And they're trying to make this plastic money. Whereas no, you don't make plastic money. You don't make real estate money. You don't make printed money. You don't make it. You don't print plastic money. Or else when you have to print plastic money, you also have to go and damage the outside world to get it. I mean, how is plastic money printed? I mean, obviously you have to go and grab something from the outside world and then go and print it. You understand? Or else what is that? Or else it's paper. I understand it's paper. You understand? Or else they're still cutting down trees. Or else plastic money is it plastic or is it paper? I understand either way that if it's plastic, I mean, how is the paper made? I mean, how is that plastic made? Or else that's something that comes from the outside world, and they have to rip something out to go and make that plastic money. So understand either way that plastic money being printed is something that's going to go away very soon, because what's happening is everything's going into cryptocurrency now, and they're going to make people from the 9 to 5 work, or else they're going to make people work for that cryptocurrency instead. I understand it's going from plastic money into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And guess what? Whereas all these banks that you see today, whereas they are disappearing. Whereas there's not going to be any more banks either. You understand? Because everything's going into the stock market. And then what you're doing is you realize this. You realize that those who are working for the cryptocurrency are the ones who can actually get damaged even more. But guess what? Or else even in this time, you don't work for cryptocurrency. Or else they're still going to make you work a 9 to 5, and they're still going to try to take away your time. You understand? Although what do you do now? Whereas now you can either understand this. You must give that knowledge anyway. You must go and develop people, because Jesus Christ doesn't work for cryptocurrency. Whereas Jesus Christ will not work for cryptocurrency in a 9 to 5 job. I mean, Jesus Christ will go do these videos and go give you the information about the world and the Bible and how to go around health and how to minister yourself as a greater talent. I mean, go and develop your talents. I mean, see that your talent is singing or writing or rapping or life coaching or coaching in some type of domain or looking great or teaching muscles, or it's what? I mean, health and spirituality and marketing and sales. You have to understand that there's so many topics that you can get into, and just make sure that make sure that you're a student about it all. I mean, learn it all. I mean, don't just learn health. I mean, learn spirituality too. I mean, don't just learn those two. I mean, learn sales and marketing as well. I mean, learn the whole package. I mean, don't just learn that. I mean, learn Jesus Christ too. I mean, learn the Bible too. I mean, learn the Buddha and the Buddhism remarks. I mean, learn the spiritual proverbs of the world. I mean, go and learn everything. I mean, just dive into it. I mean, life is so interesting when you do it. But be alone, because the more you dive into this information, whereas you have to study. So if you want to study, I mean, don't be around other people. I mean, don't go around people when you want to study the Bible. I mean, how are you going to study the Bible when everybody around you is drinking alcohol? I mean, it's stupid to even be in that environment. I mean, don't be around other people who are drinking alcohol, because they're just going to disturb you. And so are people who are not drinking alcohol. I mean, don't go to Jamboree or somewhere in Australia where there's a go-kart race when you want to study the Bible, or else when you want to study the Bible. I mean, go somewhere quiet like here and study the Bible. I mean, you don't need the physical book. You can go online. You go online and read some ebooks about it. You can go online and read the quotes of Jesus. I follow Jesus' page in terms of Instagram, and every single day they're posting new quotes about Jesus Christ and the verses of Jesus Christ. And I go and read every single day a few quotes, because I just update myself about Jesus Christ more and more. Or else more and more, I'm always updating myself about the world, because I have mentors. I have mentors who are posting videos every single day, and then sometimes I close my eyes and I listen to the audiobooks. I listen to the YouTube videos and I close my eyes. I can do that too. Or else either way, I'm always making sure I go and develop that nice, beautiful strategy every single day that I have, which is making sure I have more confidence and ability to speak every single day. I make sure either way that you get the knowledge that you need. I understand when you get the knowledge you need, I get the knowledge I need. I understand it's really that I open myself into a planning strategy here. I understand Tony Robbins says that the best way to plan is on a video. I plan my life ahead of me on video. I make sure I go and teach you something that I can, and something that comes out of my mouth is a teaching, or a parable, or a sentence, or a word, or a document. And then it goes into your mind, and it inspires you to go and do the same, but in a different manner, and in a different tone, and in your way, and pick your passions, and go for it, and understand either way, make yourself a YouTube channel, because that's something new. And understand that 100 years ago, I realized there was no YouTube, and there was no phones, and there was no typewriters. I mean, there was just write the books physically. I mean, understand that we're so lucky today, and we're privileged to be able to have what we have. Because guess what? I understand either way that you must understand your eye. I understand every single day I go to the eye, I make sure every single day I go and develop myself in eye. I understand every single day I make sure to go and do that nice, beautiful strategy, which is planning on video and making sure I plan my journal every single day. I have two phones. I have to get myself a third phone. I have to get myself an iPhone. I understand either way, because I have an Apple Watch. I have all this running and walking around that I want to get the statistics to see how my 2020th year has been in terms of my exercise. So it's worth giving $200 to go and see how it is. I understand either way. I understand that what's important is develop yourself every single day, because no matter what you're doing in the future or now or the past, you must be present in the moment. You must do it now. You must understand the psychology behind everything. You must understand how it is to really live life. Understand when you go and live life daily, you're going to go and do this nice, beautiful audio in a different way all the time. You're going to do something that you've never done before, because understand that strategy is called development. And anybody who understands that they want a great mindset in life, I realize you have to have a greater one. You have to understand that no matter what, that confidence is key, and that you understand courage is developing yourself in the spotlight as much as you can. I understand every single day I go look for the spotlight. I go make sure that I can go and sing in front of people as much as I can. So what I do is I get the portable speaker, I pump up the music, and I go around Sydney walking, and people are looking at me while I rap. And I never rapped before. I just practice in front of them. I make so many mistakes. But guess what? I understand either way that I go and rap and be in the spotlight anyway. Whereas other people want to take away my spotlight, I understand I give them the spotlight. Because that way I gain something from that. I gain a higher class. I give people what they want. Whereas either way, I understand that I just go and make sure I'm always developing. I understand when I develop, I make sure I'm always interesting about it. I understand when I'm interesting, I go and develop something new, but I talk it out in a way that I can give you ideas. I talk it away in a way that I go and develop that nice, beautiful strategy every single day that is called communication skills in I. I understand I is something very important, or I is very important when you're going and developing it all the time. And the more you can speak it out with the IUQ rule, or I understand every single day, it is what I do. I understand every single day I go and develop the IUQ rule, which is I, you, and the question. Whereas it's IUQ. I understand either way. I go ask these questions every single day. I understand that's why I'm always very much more than yesterday. I understand every single day I got a nice, beautiful day ahead of me. I have a nice, beautiful planning strategy. I have a nice, beautiful way to speak every single day. I'm never giving up. I'm making sure I go give you that nice, beautiful information daily. I understand when I do that all the time. I understand I always have business. I always have drive. I always have determination. I always have the food and drinks I need every single day. I always eat something that is nice and planned, because I have to plan everything. I have to plan everything for life. I have to plan everything to make sure that I have what I need all the time. I understand either way that you must understand that information is the commodity, and those who raise the information of their life are the ones who are helping more. You must be able to help more regardless. You must be able to do something different every single day that you've never done before. I understand when I do these videos 1,000 million times differently, you always learn something. I realize if I do it in the same way, you'll always understand that it's something that you will never learn from. Whereas you never learn the same way, you learn it differently. I realize that you always watch different videos that I have, because different videos will spark up new motivation and new techniques and new ideas. I realize that's what you need. You need a new life. You need something new today. You have to understand that the new way is the best way. I understand that every single day that those people who are always doing something new every single day are the ones who are much more successful. I understand the 9 to 5 takes away your time. Honestly, it takes away a lot of your time. So the more you can really stay away from it, honestly, the better your life. I understand the more freedom you'll gain. Because how do you gain the freedom? You gain freedom and everything you ever want by giving information. Whereas if you're not giving information, and if you don't have a YouTube channel and Instagram and social media profile where you can go and showcase your work, I understand that means you're going to be less successful. I promise you, you must be able to put yourself on video. You must be able to put yourself on audio and writing right now. And believe in thyself. Believe in yourself. I believe in I so much that I don't need other people to make me famous. I understand many people today on the street performance, I realize they don't get it. They don't understand what I have. I go and promote myself in my nice, beautiful attitude, and they don't realize that. I realize they believe that a leader who steps up as a public speaker is just natural, and that there's many going around. Unfortunately, there's not many going around who are public speakers. Unfortunately, there's not many. I promise you, there's 7.6 billion people, and I promise you, there are less than, let's say, 50,000 people who can public speak. There's less than that. You have to understand that either way, you must be able to public speak. You must be able to go and have a common sense theory about your life. Or else they believe that it's natural. Or else, yes, it's natural, but practice. Or else if they've never done it, and they're just walking away. Or else they've never done public speaking, and they're not interested. Or else either way, I understand that what's important is understand that when you go on the street, you'll find many people just walking past and not even look at you. You'll find many people who look at you and will smile and then they'll walk away. Or some other people will look at you and will not smile and will go away. Or the other people will smile at you and come and look at your nice, beautiful promotion too. Other people will come and talk to you in front of the video. So be able to promote yourself on video with people. So when they come and you ask them, you say, you need to come with me on the microphone and speak with me on the microphone on video so that I can go and do a nice, beautiful performance. Or else they come straight away. And then somebody may beatbox right away. So go and start doing the I symptom. Or make sure that you understand that you start singing along with the beatbox. Understand when you start singing, you're raising your confidence as well. So either way, you have to be able to do something much greater every single day. You must be able to go and develop thyself. You must be able to go in front of a crowd and street performance and learn from it. And put it all into a video and put all the planning strategies and mechanisms into a video. But understand to go and just do thyself. I understand I have so much time for myself. I don't have time for anybody else. That's the greatest class of respect and high morals. And it's the greatest aspect of life where I can be on my own. I don't need to be with other people. I don't need to sit with other people on the table to eat and drink and listen to music live. I don't need that. I don't need that. I need to be able to go and travel the world, because I understand just recently I went on this nice beautiful Instagram, and I understand either way that this guy is doing his business and he's a photographer, and he's one of the best photographers I've ever seen do some nice beautiful handy tricks. Either way, I understand that Jesus Christ will never do that. Let's just put it like that. Whereas that Jesus Christ is not a photographer, or that Jesus Christ is a photographer in the information he gives. You understand? Because in the information you give, you can do anything. You can be a real estate guru, you can be anything in the information you give. But he is doing photography. And now he likes to go and make these nice, beautiful videos about how he does photography and how he does get these people from the streets and to just do anything with him. And he gets people to put on his facades in terms of his materials, in terms of what he has, so that he can go and make these beautiful photo shoots and whatever. I understand either way that he has 66,000 followers. I understand that he has 133 posts on Instagram. I understand I have 1,012 followers on my Instagram, although I have 12,000 posts and more. I have more than him. I have 12 times more posts than him. Although I understand that the difference between us, or else the difference between us in terms of I and him, is, or else I do photography and he does photography. Although the difference is that he goes to photography other people. I never photography other people. I never do photos of other people unless it's travel photos, or else just random photos of the nice beautiful scenery with the people in the background. Or else, although he goes on the street and literally talks to people to go and do a photo shoot for free. I understand either way. You have to understand that I love that he is doing his business. Or else his business is something amazing, and understand either way that Jesus would never do that. Or else Jesus would do something more like this, where Jesus gets on a video and does Jesus. Because you're not meant to be doing other people. Whereas if I go up to your family and I walk into your house and say, I want you to do a free photo shoot with me. I mean, out of nowhere. I mean, so random. I mean, don't you have something better to do than going to other people's houses and ask them to photo shoot with you? I mean, go and photo shoot yourself instead. So you don't have to ask other people. I mean, go do something different where you don't have to ask people for what you want to do. I mean, don't ask other people for permission to do a photo shoot with you or to do anything with you. I mean, go do it alone. Or else now the difference is that on his Instagram, or else what I see is that he's traveling. Or else that in my Instagram, I see I'm traveling too. Or else that we're both successful. Or else now a successful Instagram is something that's traveling. You have to understand that the more you travel and showcase something beautiful on your Instagram, or else the more people can see that you're traveling somewhere and you got something to do. And that you're very successful at it. You understand? Because anybody who's not traveling throughout life is somebody who doesn't have many posts on Instagram and social media, and is not doing much on social media. But in terms of that guy and I, in terms of I and that guy, I stand I over everybody. I understand we have a nice beautiful profile where we're really understanding the difference here. So the difference is that he shoots photos of other people. I shoot photos of myself. I mean, what's better? I mean, would you rather shoot photos of yourself or other people? I mean, of course, of yourself. Whereas I have over 12,000 photos of myself. Whereas now he has 133 posts of other people. Whereas that's not loving thyself. I mean, that's not loving yourself. I mean, yes, or it's a business, but make sure the business is you and not other people. You understand? Whereas now, that's a nice, beautiful strategy to understand. You don't make other people your business. You don't make other people your business because they don't care about you. I understand I did that before with people who are fat. I understand I went to them. I went to ask them and I said, I need a client. I need to help you lose weight. And they said, yeah. Whereas I did it for free and all that. I understand either way. I explained everything. I understand either way. I go and do it much more. I always explain more and more. And I started to help them. And guess what? I realized that those 10 clients and those 12 clients and up to 15 clients did not respect my integrity and what I have in information. Because I was trying to work on them. I realized that this photographer goes to other people to try to work on them. You don't work on them. You work on yourself. Whereas the business is not them. Whereas the business is you. You never change other people. You change yourself. Whereas now, I never have to go doing all these photo shoots and doing fancy photo shoots of other people. I can do it for myself. I can do all these nice, beautiful photo shoots of myself. Whereas now, he doesn't get that. I said he understands that he has to go and on the streets ask all these people. And now he may get rejected 50 million times. I promise you. Although sometimes I realize that somebody may say yes. Understand? I understand the important aspect is that you understand that every single day, make sure that you can do much more. Or else make sure that you can do something to make sure that you're doing much greater. I understand there's always something more to be, but make sure every single day that you're going and also breathing to the fullest, because I understand over here, the air condition is something, let's say, nice and beautiful. I can breathe over here. Although I understand that the important difference is make sure every single day that you go and teach people what it is about you. Or else there's always something much more beautiful. Or else there's always something much more that you can do. So to go do it differently. I mean, go and teach what you can do. Understand that every single day, that those people who are doing much more are the ones showing it. You have to show what you do. You have to show a different way of doing something. You have to do something differently every single day, and make sure you're always in that kind of phase where you're teaching people about yourself. You have to teach people more and more about every single subject in the dictionary, because that's how you get to understand how to build your confidence, because it's about building confidence. And if you understand that I go street performance, why? I build my confidence. I build the confidence because I go and increase my eye. I go and be in front of people as much as I can, and nobody else forces me to go. I understand I have to force myself, and the way I force myself is I get around better schedule. I get around a better schedule. I start to develop that habit of going every single day and doing 1 hour videos every single day. You understand? Because it's not the goal to do 2 hour videos, or else it's the goal to do 1 hour videos in my life. Or else if I make 2 hour videos, I understand if you see 2 hour videos that I make and up to 7 hours and 8 hours and 12 hours, I understand either way that it's something I've done extra. I've done extra. I understand either way, I achieve more and more either way. I understand every single day I go and develop a nice beautiful skill of communication. I give a nice beautiful knowledge about it every single day in a different manner, because I understand communication is everything. I mean, what's the difference between a fat man who's 140 and 50 kilos? I mean, how much is that? I mean, 1,450 kilos, and a man who has 80 kilos. I mean, communication. I mean, communication is the difference, because that man is not communicating as more. In terms of that man is not communicating as much as I am, because I have a better body weight than that individual, because that individual walks very slow. I can walk fast. Whereas now, what's the difference? Or the communication skill. Whereas anything that's more communication today is speaking up more about everything and is more interested about everything. Whereas anybody who is more successful today is more communicating. Or they're communicating more. Or they're doing something much more than the rest in terms of speaking up. And what are they speaking up? Or are they communicating themselves into success? You have to write your success out. You have to write it down. Or else if you want to achieve your dreams, you have to write it down. Or else you have to communicate it. Or else that's where the manifestation is. Or else anything you want in life, you can achieve if you can communicate it. Or else that's the way. Or else that's it. I understand either way. If you go and get a Ferrari today, or else it's because you communicated it. Or else, what else can it be? Or else, either way, you can just walk there. You don't have to speak up. You don't have to talk with your words to get there. You just go there and give it. Or else it's that simple. But that's communication too. I understand either way that the more you speak those words as well, I realize that makes you more successful. I understand the more you can speak, the more successful you can be. I understand either way. It's just that. Or else the more people speak, the more of a legacy they have. Or else the more you speak, or else the more greater success you have than other people. Or else that's what people don't get. Or else that's why people don't get up on the phones and then don't start to communicate. Or else because they're unaware that communication is key to your success. I understand I talk about communication so much that I love myself so much that I succeed all the time. I succeed all the time because I understand communication is the way. And those who communicate more and more can be in front of a crowd. And they can really lead. And they can do anything. And it's not about picking up women. I mean, it's not about picking up men. And it's not about one-night stands. I mean, one-night stands doesn't have anything in terms of teaching in that. I mean, it doesn't teach anything for you to go to a nightclub today and to go and dance around for 8 hours. I mean, what's the teaching? I mean, that's a waste of time. I mean, that's a waste of time. I mean, it's not teaching anything. I mean, if you go to a festival today, I mean, go and be the music producer who's on the actual dance floor, who is DJing the music to a crowd. I mean, that's at least teaching something. I mean, that's teaching something. I mean, when you go on the nice, beautiful deck and you start to really perform, I mean, you're in the spotlight. I mean, that's teaching people to get into the spotlight over being the crowd. I mean, would you rather be the DJ who's DJing to 1 billion people? Or else there's one DJ, and the 1 billion people are on the dance floor. I mean, what are they doing? I mean, they're just with sunglasses. I mean, that's what they're doing. You understand? I mean, is that cool? I mean, that's not cool. I understand Tomorrowland and all these festivals that you want to go to, but guess what? Or else if you want to achieve those festivals that you want to go to once in your life, I mean, be the DJ when you go there. I mean, that's even better. I mean, why do you want to just go there and be in the crowd? I mean, go and make the music and then achieve your dreams and be on the stage at that festival. I feel life. I can breathe now. I can breathe. I mean, make the music. I mean, 10 years. I mean, give me 10 years. I mean, you can make it in 20 years. You can make it in 30 years, but you'll be there eventually. And it's going to be much more worth it. Right? You'll be much more worth it because what you'll learn along the way with music production is something amazing. You'll make music for the first time in your life and you understand how it is. Or else, if I achieved that, I have achieved everything. I have everything now. I have the music. I have the nice, beautiful skills. I have the courage. I can travel everywhere. Because where do I really travel? I mean, I travel in the information. I speak it up. I deserve to go around the world, traveling and teaching people. I deserve it. I can see it. I deserve it because I help people. I help people by giving a service. And what kind of service? I realize any type of service is an information service. I understand these traders, for example, plumbers and electricians and carpenters, they are also in what kind of business? I realize it's an information business. I realize it's not a physical business. I realize you don't have to hammer anything, man. You don't hammer stuff. You don't go construction. I mean, construction will kill you. You don't go do concreting. Or as they say, good money. I mean, no. I mean, that's not good money. I mean, what is good money? I mean, what good money is, I realize, is giving this video and giving information about concreting and about the world and not doing it physically. You don't do any you don't do physicality in life. You don't do anything physically. You understand? You don't do it physically because physical health is not important. What's important is spiritual health. Or spiritual health over physical health. You have to understand, it doesn't matter how big your muscles are. I mean, it matters how much content and information have you given. Or some people go and all their life. I mean, it's the biceps cuts. I mean, you need the big biceps. I understand they got big biceps, but guess what? Or else they have no YouTube channels. Or else they're not great. Or else they're not somebody famous. I mean, big deal. I mean, who are you trying to impress? I mean, the guy's got one woman. I mean, he's still the biceps cuts. I mean, big biceps, but I mean, one woman, man. I mean, one woman. I mean, who are you trying to impress? I mean, either way, or else one woman is more than enough. Well, to understand that it's not about 50,000 women either. You understand? Or else that biceps doesn't get you anything. Or else biceps doesn't make you. Or else biceps and a strong body doesn't make you something talented. Or else the spiritual realm makes you talented. Or else something that you communicate into the world makes you talented. Or else it can be singing, or else it can be communication, or else it can be rapping, or else it can be anything that's really writing materials and helping other people through information. Understand that helps people so much. Understand when you do that daily and when you're really communicating your nice, beautiful gestures into the world, you always understand that there's always something much greater to do. Understand every single day you do that, you always make sure that you're developing that business in you, because that business is communication skills. And it's always making sure that you're more emotional and doing much better than yesterday, and making sure either way that you understand that there are people around me, or there are people around me right now. I understand either way that they're doing their own stuff. I understand I keep going with the video because I understand that what's important is just understand that no matter what, that anything that's physical and it's, or else anything that's in the outside world and physicality today is nothing to be concerned about, and it's nothing that you need. Or else what you need really is spiritual health, or else spiritual information. And spiritual information is communication. And you need to communicate that every single day. You have to understand it's something that you cannot touch, although it's something that's really going to help you to move forward in every single aspect of life. Understand when you do that, understand no matter what, that you go and realize that when other people are going around and banging doors everywhere, or else they're unaware of you, and it sounds very rude. Or else it sounds rude when they go and start going on top of your audio. Understand either way, you go and speak up over it. You speak up over the tones that they may be banging doors and all of this, because what's important is understand either way that you're doing a video and you're giving the knowledge. And now, is that rich? Or else it's a rich idea to do so. Or else it's rich to go and speak up over this. Because understand either way that I'll go do something much more. I understand it's very hot in here, because guess what? I understand either way, I just do much better. I do much better in a way that I understand that I go and lift up people. I understand when I lift up people, I do it differently every single day. Although this video, I understand either way that 1 hour is more than enough. Understand it's more enough. Understand either way that you understand that every single day, you go and do something different. You go do it differently, and understand that you go and change up the nice, beautiful rules that you have in your life, which are your habits, and your habits are your destiny. You understand your habits are your destiny, so realize that if you want to become better and greater, you have to understand the spiritual realm is something that you need. And you have to go the information way. You have to start giving that information daily, but give that information in a way that's going to help people. Understand, as long as you're speaking up, start with 1 minute videos and start with 1 minute audios and connect them together. And that way you're going to understand much greater about how to really speak. Because those who are writing more do actually speak more. I can speak at any time. I can lift my journal here. I can start writing my journal. Because my journal is something that teaches you. Or as my journal helps people to succeed. I succeed through giving. I give you the information and then I'm happier. I'm happier because I became aware of something. I became aware of something that's really important. In a sense, so I'm always making sure I develop that nice, beautiful talent I have. I understand when I always do that, I do it in a different way, because that way I understand a new viewpoint, I understand a new perspective, I understand a new way of doing something, I understand the best way. Whereas the best way is the better way. I understand when you're really developing yourself through different aspects of life, you have to teach it. You have to teach what you understand. You have to teach what you see. You have to teach what you do. And that way you understand why you can't speak up. Because most people don't speak up what they do because they're ashamed and they have anxiety and they have secrecy and they don't want to expose themselves. So the more you expose what you do, or as the more you speak up, or as the more you expose your habits, or as the more you speak up about it. Or as now when you speak up about it, you have a business. Whereas when you have a business, you help people. You help everybody. Whereas the whole point is help everybody and not just you. I understand when you're helping you only, you help everybody. Or as now, just focus on you. Or as the whole point of today is understand to just go and focus on you. Because it's so much better to hang around yourself than to hang around with other people. Because other people are fake. Let's just put it like that. I understand all the friendships I ever have, in terms of all the friendships I ever had with others, have broken down. Why? Why? Because they have their own family. Or else they get married to a guy and they never want to talk to you again. Is that something fun? 5 years down the drain. 10 years down the drain. Is that something very important? Guess what? Or else I never have to go towards those people. Or I never have to go towards them ever again. Because guess what? You don't build friendships with other people. You don't build relationships with other people. Or else Jesus never done that either. Brother, Jesus never builds relationships with anybody else except Jesus. Because everybody else disappoints you. Brother, if you go have a wife today or husband or kids, brother, they'll disappoint you. Brother, it's not anything that is much more worthy than you. Brother, guess what? I realize that Jesus' way is the best way, and I understand that either way. That Jesus went alone, and Jesus never had a wife, and Jesus never had Jesus never had a husband either, and Jesus never made kids, because Jesus understands that those kids are disappointing. Let's just put it like that. I realize now, are they really disappointing? I realize that it's really that they will disappoint Jesus, definitely, because they will go somewhere else and be with other people. Or else, isn't that a disappointment? When they leave you. Understand that whoever leaves you, they'll leave you. That's a disappointment, isn't it? Eventually, your wife and husband's going to die and pass away. And where'd you put your time? You put your time into your wife and husband, and that's dissipated. I realized it just went away. You just wasted time. You did. That's a waste of time. You understand? So realize you don't need a wife, you don't need a husband, you don't need kids, because the more you give time toward them, or they don't appreciate your time. They don't not appreciate your time. Whereas now I appreciate everything that I've ever been given. Because I'm still doing better than yesterday. But guess what? I still have to leave my biological dad. I still have to go help people. Whereas that people will leave you. People will just leave you. And they will just leave you to be alone. You understand? But guess what? I realize that if you're giving other people time, whereas that's why you're neglecting yourself. Whereas now, when you have kids and when you have a wife, or when you have a wife and kids, and when you have a husband, you're going to be devoting your time toward them. You're going to be teaching them. You're going to be doing all this. But realize, they're going to give you an experience. Or else they're going to give you an experience. But guess what? Or else that sooner than later, or else they're going to leave. Or else they'll go somewhere else. But guess what? I make sure that you understand that you never waste your time in the process. So if you never want to waste your time, make sure you're teaching something that you want to learn with them. Or else now, that's something that is not a waste of time. Whereas it's not a waste of time to go and teach your wife and kids and family and people around you what you're doing. You understand? But if you're dying and you're not teaching much, and you're just giving them method so that you can die and not learn, whereas then you're actually wasting time. So realize either way that Jesus never ever needs anybody except Jesus. Or else that's confidence. Or else that means that you don't need other people to survive. You don't need other people to think for you. You don't need other people to go and be responsible for you. You just need yourself the most. You just need to be able to be alone. Whereas when you be alone every single day, you'll be independent. You'll be making sure every single day that you can do something greater. Whereas when you go and do a greater, you'll be alone for that. You'll stick to the I. You'll stick to the you. You'll stick to the question. Whereas now, when you stick to the I, Yukuru, you just stick to the I. Whereas I is very important so that you understand that when I stick to the I today, I just have my I business today. I realize that I have nobody else to see because they're going to disappoint me. Or else they're going to talk crap about me. Either way, I understand I'm more successful than them. I have no time for them. I have no time for them either way. I have no time to build relationships and friendships around me. Because guess what? I have the time only to build a friendship and relationship with myself. I have no time for you. I have no time for anybody except I. I only go where I need to go. I only go and I just take care of myself. Because otherwise, I'd be neglecting myself. Really. I do not give anybody my time because my time is valuable. Whereas I realize if you ask me today I realize if you said you have a woman that wants to get with me or you want me to come to you or something like that, you have to understand that it has to be worthy of my life. I have to gain some attention today. So either way, I go where the attention is. So if you got attention or eyes, in terms of millions of people in your YouTube channel who want to record, in terms of you want to record me so that you promote me, in terms of my life, I'll come because it's worth it. But a woman, I don't need a woman. I don't need a woman. I can find a woman easily. You understand? Or else that most women today go for plastic money. I understand that that is not the way either. But most men go for plastic money and they go work for money. And I understand. I'm not gay. I'm not bisexual. I'm not transsexual. Although I understand that people who are gay choose to be gay. Or else that they choose it. Or else that it's a choice. Or else now I can say I'm gay now. I'll go for men. Or else that's a choice. I'm not gay though. I never go for men. I go for I. Understand? So realize anybody who's gay today or lesbian chooses to be that. Whereas anybody who's poor today chooses to be poor. Or is they choosing it? You understand? I mean, everything that you have today is a choice. You chose it. You chose your life. Whereas nobody else chose your life. You deserve your life. I mean, do you deserve your life? You deserve it. Whereas if you don't deserve your life, or else then you go kill yourself. Or else everything I have today, I deserve it. Or else everybody who has a life, or else anybody who has something or done something in life deserves it. Or else those guys who are having sex with all these beautiful women, or else they deserve it. Or else they're wasting time on doing that. Or else they're evacuating systems and giving all their money so they can go around the world having sex with all these women and not teach you anything, man. Or else they got no legacy to teach you. Or else they got no Jesus Christ knowledge to give you. I understand they may have a minimal knowledge, but they're not teaching you that. Or else they're keeping it for themselves. Because or else they're not making YouTube channels to teach your kids. Or else they're just going teaching your kids how to have sex with beautiful women on camera. You understand? Or else now, are they really beautiful? Or else those women are doing it for the money and not for the guy. You understand? Or else that porn business, or else that's all money related. Or else they're working, or else they're doing their business. Or else the business is, in terms of the pornography world, is that they go around the world having sex and doing porn on video. And that's it. Or else that's the legacy. I mean, big deal. I mean, guess what? Or else who wants to watch that? Or else either way, understand that I also watched a lot of porn. I watched a lot of porn in my life. And understand that it's been 13 years since I've been watching it. But guess what? I haven't been watching it every single day. I understand every single day is just one day. I realize 13 years of life is one day. I mean, 1 billion years is just one day. I realize everything in terms of time is just one moment. I realize everything is one moment. I realize Hitler times is 1 moment from now. You understand? Well, guess what? I understand Hitler. I never do Hitler. I go see Jesus, for example. I say Jesus is just 1 moment. I realize Jesus died today. I realize Jesus died. I realize Jesus didn't die yesterday. I realize Jesus died, although Jesus is still alive in the information. Whereas everything is alive in the information. Whereas if you want to go see Dr. Wayne Dyer, for example, You go into his YouTube channel today, or else he'll still give you the knowledge. I mean, it's that quick. And then to realize that what's important is understand that if you want to be anything in life, you be somebody who's giving information. Because information is much more important than going and having sex around. Approaching sex with other people doesn't really help you. Or else it doesn't help anybody. Or else it doesn't help you get what you deserve. I mean, let's just put it like that. You have to understand that what you really deserve is a better life. And sex with other people doesn't get you a better life. Or else it doesn't get you a better life. So realize if you believe you know more than Jesus Christ, or else understand to learn more. Because Jesus Christ doesn't go having sex around. Because Jesus Christ understands that Jesus Christ has a Bible and makes Jesus Christ's legacy massive. Because Jesus Christ's story is so inspirational that you understand what purity is, and it's called positivity. And you have to understand every single day, go and make yourself much more. I mean, make yourself something better in life. Or else go and sculpture yourself into a greater human being who's helping people and developing people. I understand that those people who are chasing pleasure today and who want to go have sex around and who want to go have all the food in the world, or else they're fat people, and they're also people who are just more obese than the rest. And they're also people who have no life. I mean, go and understand that teaching is the only way to be. And teach people more and more about what you understand. I mean, teach them and just make sure that you're confident about it. So when you're confident about it, you start first via writing. I mean, just write some materials. I mean, write some blogs. You understand some communication skills like that. And then make an audio podcast. And understand that for the first 10 years, I realized nobody will watch you, really. I mean, understand that for the first 4 to 5 years, I promise you, no matter what, the people will not watch you much. You understand? But guess what? I realize in the long term, or else they're going to come up to you. Or else nobody cares about you in terms of what you're doing in the first 5 years of your business. I mean, I don't care about you. I mean, after you have a lot of talent, or else they're going to start recognizing you. And they're going to say, wow, I mean, this guy's really good. I mean, that woman's really good. I mean, that woman can sing now. I mean, that woman can sing. I mean, they're going to recognize you. But at first, or else when you start your business, or else the first 5 years, or else it's just work on yourself. Or else the next 5 years is just work on yourself. And the next 5 years is just work on yourself. And the next 10 years is just work on yourself. And then the next 30 years is just work on yourself. But eventually, people are going to develop a nice, beautiful scenario about you. And they're going to say, wow, I mean, this guy can actually public speak. I realize this guy's got a lot of music. And this woman has a lot of public speaking gigs. And these people have a lot of amazing content on their YouTube. And you will understand they're talking about you. In a sense to realize that eventually people will sum up the idea that you are somebody. I mean, that you are actually teaching something. So realize that there's no wasting time. Never waste time. But understand every single day, you go and do as much as you can. I mean, as much as you can. I mean, make sure you're using your feelings and use your emotional ability every single day to go and write down your emotions. I mean, write down the ego. I mean, write down what you believe the ego is. I mean, write down what you believe this world is as much as you can. And you understand why you're a psychologist now and why you're a problem solver. And you understand why you're giving ideas about your life. I mean, as soon as you give one idea, you just wrote a word on paper. And then just keep writing that nice, beautiful word of God, which is all of life. I mean, about what you love to do. And then just go and talk about what you love to do all day long. And why is it so interesting? I mean, go and talk about in your journal and in a video and in audio about what you love to do. I mean, what do you love to do? I mean, I don't know what it is. I mean, if you love forklift driving so much, and if you love cleaning, and if you love anything in toilets and scrubbing floors, I mean, go and teach people why you love it so much. I mean, teach people your business and what you love every single day, and you always have a business about that. You always have a business when you make a business. I mean, just create your own opportunity. I mean, just say, I picked the dog as my business. I mean, go and make the dog about your business, and go and make sure that you teach everybody about the dog and why you love the dog and how you lead the dog and how do you live with the dog and where do you take the dog and what skills can you give to other people to teach the dog and what skills otherwise in terms of how can you help the dog and yourself and how can you help the world with that dog and how do you make that dog train other dogs. And either way, I mean, just go make a business about it. I mean, go and talk about everything about that dog. You know, I mean, talk about it. I mean, talk about yourself. But guess what? Whereas the more you talk about yourself, the most. Whereas, understand, you give your story. I mean, this is where I grew up. I mean, this is how I began. Whereas either way, I went through this much, I realized I had this much suffering, I had this much pain, but this is how my life changed now. I realized my life changed here. I went to America, I realized I met this woman, I understand when I met her, I realized that she didn't like me, I realized I went this way, I understand either way I learned this. I understand when I learned this, I had some opinion, an epiphany to make a movie. I made a movie, I understand I became a clown in the movie. I understand either way that the movie is worth $10 billion today. I mean, wow. I mean, either way, you're giving a story about yourself. And then you're going to give a story about your life. And your life has many stories. Your life has how many days in it? I mean, how much years of knowledge do you have right now? I mean, understand you can go and give that knowledge today. You can go and give it, although give it in a different way all the time. And go and talk about something about your life. I understand when I was really young, or as I'm still young, although when I understand either way, I used to go to this place called Canley Vale in Australia, Sydney. And it's next to Liverpool and Cabramatta and Canley Vale. And it's really in Canley Vale. And it's called Subskanarana Obrana. I used to go there and I used to really just go and play around. I used to play this nice, beautiful AFL and rugby. And I used to wear these nice, beautiful NFL shirts about the Cowboys, in terms of the Dallas Cowboys. I understand it was a number 23. I don't know why, although it's just something I just grabbed. Although I understand either way, that at that time, or else we used to all sit together and we used to talk. I mean, what did we talk about? I realized nothing. I realized nothing really. I realized now we did really talk about the world around us and all of that. Although I understand it's nothing really to, let's say, drive a business forward. You understand? Whereas nobody there has a business yet. Whereas the business that we created together is that we would go and dance these folkloric festivals, and we went to Canberra. I realized we went to Melbourne. I realized we went to other parts of Gold Coast in terms of life. As we went to Gold Coast, I understand we went other parts of Sydney to go and dance as a group. And we were just a group, like Big Brother of Australia, or like any type of family that's a group together. Whereas we just bonded together, and we stood together for a bit. Whereas we started to really develop, and then suddenly I understand that people started to go their own ways. I understand these people are going soccer training. I understand I come here because of this, and then I have to go somewhere else. Or that people are just coming and going. You understand? And then eventually it dissipates. Whereas this group dissipates, and then people start to go dance somewhere else because of somebody they don't like in the group. And then no matter what, or else the group is tearing apart, and eventually people are just leaving. You understand? And then eventually everybody leaves. Whereas, and then what? Whereas now we don't even talk to each other anymore. Whereas we're one big happy family for 8 years. And eventually, or else we don't even talk anymore. Whereas now, in high school, it's the same thing. Whereas from year 7, you have friends straight away. Or else it's really easy to make friends. Or else it's so easy to make friends when you enter a school and you go to a new school. Or else everybody wants to be a friend. Because everybody's fake. Or else everybody's fake in high school and the public schools and elementary. You have to understand that I never ever send my kids to elementary schools and high schools and primary schools and public schools of Australia and the government schools anymore. I never send my kids there because I've been there. I understand that those kids do not teach anybody anything. You understand that don't teach much. Whereas now, those school teachers do not teach much about life. Whereas they're teaching you how to get to a 9-to-5 job. And I don't teach my kids how to get to a 9-to-5 job. I teach them how to make my business come true. I teach them how to really understand life. And how to really teach that in front of people. And then I take my kids on the street performance. And I make them to sing. I make them to go and speak and public speak on the street, and I'll be there with them, public speaking, and they can join my side while I public speak, and they can give their thoughts, I give my thoughts, and we're building confidence together. I then make sure that either way, that eventually they understand how to do their own videos. I make them brand themselves, I make them go and brand themselves around the world. I make sure that they develop my business, which is public speaking and communication. I teach them the communication skills. Because you don't need school at all. You just need people who can teach you something about life without a 9-to-5 job and without government schools. You don't need government schools in life because they don't teach you nothing. I understand that what's a teaching today is self-help books. So my nice beautiful knowledge over here is something that decades from now and hundreds of years from now is going to be something so important so that people understand that I'm famous right now. I'm 28. Or is that my following online is 1,014 people are following me. and more. Or else either way, that understand that no matter what, that number is going to reach more. Because why? Or else because I have something more to say. I always have more to give. I always have something more. But I understand I'll never ever send my kids somewhere where other people don't teach them. Or else I take responsibility for my kids. Because when other people send your kids, or else when you're sending your kids to somewhere else, or else you're not taking advantage of teaching them because you believe somebody else will teach them better. You don't even have confidence in yourself to teach them. I have so much confidence in myself to teach my kids that I teach them the same way I do you. I teach my kids the same way I do you. I have confidence to teach you and my kids. I have more confidence than all those teachers in the primary schools and government schools. Because all I do is I sum up all this nice, beautiful educational material, and then I say, your homework today is to read as much as you can about me and what I say. Or else I've already started to teach them. I don't have to repeat myself. I never repeat myself. I repeat myself differently. Or else, although I say to my kid, you go on YouTube and you start to watch every single playlist I have. Although I send them to my Mega Drive straight away. I have 31,000 quotes and more. Or else you must read every single quote. You understand? You must read every single quote. You must understand to read every single video about your father and what I say. You understand? And understand to read my journals too. And just go and read that. And just read and just read. Or else I'll teach them from a young age to do that. You understand? Although from a young age, or else now, they have all this knowledge. And they're going to say, Dad, I feel like also doing it. Or else now you can go and do it. I don't even have to say it to them. I don't even have to say for them to create a YouTube channel. Because eventually, my knowledge speaks to them. And it says, go just create one. Whereas now, they will look at what I do. And they'll say, I understand you do YouTube channels. I'll say, yeah. Or else they'll say, I want to do it too. Or else go. I mean, do you see how I do it? I mean, go and do it. You understand? I mean, go and do it. Or else, either way, eventually they grow up watching me and how I actually do my life. And then they go and do their life based on what I say in terms of a different manner. Although understand they do what I do. Or else they do what I do. Although understand I do what I say. Or else that when I do what I say, I do it much better than yesterday. And that's what they are going to be. Or else they're going to be much better than yesterday because they're watching people who are becoming better than yesterday. And they're watching people who are really studying everything going around in terms of what's happening around life. I understand, for example, the coronavirus pandemic right now, in terms of 2020, I'm much more informed. I'm much more able to resist. I never resist. I'm always much better than never. I'm always much better to understand that I'm better than resisting anything. I'm better than to resist. I understand either way. I'm better in this functionality because I've been following mentors who are guiding me through the 2020 saga of life. I can understand what they've done from March 2020 to December 2020. I can see what they're doing. Whereas all they're doing is posting videos and updating people about the coronavirus and what's going on around the world. I mean, that's that. And doing the businesses. You understand? Although I can see the knowledge. Whereas now those people who don't have mentors during this time of the coronavirus are so much more, let's say, behind than I am. Because I have mentors at least showing me how to really make my business, even though the coronavirus is going on. Although what I do is I go do something separately that I love to do, that my mentors also love to do, but I do it differently. I do something different. I do a different version of something. Or else that my version, you never find it, or else you never find my audio and my version anywhere else except where my YouTube channel is, and where my Instagram is, and where my Mega Drive is. But my Mega Drive is something that's start to finish. Whereas now, I have no finish in life. I understand my knowledge is forever. Whereas that once you read all of it, or else somebody else will read all of it too. Understand? So realize that knowledge is always equating to more. You always learn more about my videos. Or else each video that I give you, or else you can learn it. You can read it 10 times and you still learn something. You learn something from my videos 10 times in the making. Or else each video will give you an idea. I mean, just repeat the video 10 times and you understand why you get more ideas from the video. I understand either way, or else that's how I read Robert Kiyosaki's books. I went into finance. I started to read Rich Dad Poor Dad series. And I started to read one book at a time. And I read it 5 times and 10 times. And I understand it. And I move on. I read a book or an audio program as much as I can until I understand it. I mean, that's the function. And then eventually I just read one book one time and I understand it. But at first, I have to read the book 10 times to understand it. Because all these words and all these characteristics about life and how people are talking, I didn't understand them. But I will reread it. And then I understand much more and more and more about the language they use. And then I go into the next book, I have to read it again 10 times. I mean, each book I have to read 10 times. And then eventually it gets to the stage where I'll go and read one book. I just read it once. I read a 10-hour book one time. And I understand what they're talking about right away. Because I'm more developed. I'm more than yesterday. I understand. I can sense the communication skills. I can sense what they're talking about. I'm more mature now. I understand the language. I understand what they're talking about. I can read it once from now on. I go on YouTube channels now. I read it one time because I pick up the knowledge quickly. You understand? Whereas it's just a download. I mean, once you're reading this audio, you can read it one time. You don't have to read it 10 times. But some people need to read it 10 times to understand it. You have to read it 10 times sometimes to really understand my communication. Whereas now, when it's so fast, I realize there's this woman at Toastmasters, in Double C Toastmasters. I understand that Double C is in Liverpool Catholic Club, Australia, in terms of the Busby range, where Liverpool is. I realize there's a club called Liverpool Catholic Club. I used to go there to do Toastmasters for 1 year. And I speak very fast. And she goes, you have to slow down. You have to slow down. You're really fast. I have to be fast. I have to be fast. I have to be communicating all the time. Whereas now, because she says that, whereas she's a slow learner. Well, guess what? Whereas that's why you go repeat my audio 10 times. And you understand why you're very slow. I mean, when you repeat this video 10 times, you understand why you're much more understood about life. You understand why you understand me now. Because some words you heard already, but other words no. And then other words in the second audio are going to come to you. And then in the third audio, I mean, some other words that you didn't recognize are going to come to you. And then in the fourth audio that you repeat, whereas another word or another idea, in terms of other ideas, are going to come at you, in terms of other words that you never heard before, and other sequencing. And eventually, by the ninth time, I realize that you may pick up one or two ideas and a few ideas, and eventually you understand it. You understand? But she's very slow to recognize my situation and my knowledge and how fast I talk. I talk very fast because I have to interest the crowd. But she wants me to slow down like this. I mean, she wants me to go, you guys remember when I was like this? And just make sure you understand me. I understand. I mean, she wants me to talk very slow. You understand? I mean, I don't talk like that. You understand? I talk very fast because that fast communication is something that's really going to teach you. Whereas it's very much interesting to listen to somebody who's fast communication than somebody who's very slow, like I just did. You understand? I understand either way. I understand that the communication of life is something different. So to do something differently every single day is to understand why you can make it better. I mean, make it better for yourself to understand that no matter what, that every single day is something different. But I just recently slept. I slept for 12 hours. I slept for 12 hours. I was very tired. I was very tired because I don't know why. Although I understand either way that what's more important is that I sleep and just take care of myself. I'm lying down on the bed and I realize that my bed's right here. Although I lay down and I put the air conditioner on over here and I'm just laying down and I consider my eye. I look at my eye and I said, what else is there? I said, for the next 72 years, I can do my eye. I can just do eye. I don't have to go do other people. I don't have to give other people time. I don't have to go and give other people business. I don't have to go and collaborate with other people. I don't have to go I don't have to go online and chase women and talk to them. I don't have to go and give other people my time and talk to them. I mean, how good? I can just do I can just go and learn something. I can just go on YouTube and study and upload Instagram photos and just focus on I and my business. I can focus on minding my own business. Or else if you have to talk to me, or else then you have to mind my own business. Or else you have to mind my business. Or else I'll never talk to you because I never mind your business. Or else it's called mind your own business. I mean, when you understand that, you understand to go where you need to go and not where other people are. I mean, don't go talking to other people because by the time they reply, I mean, 12 hours has passed and more. I mean, do you need that kind of conversation with other people? You don't need that. You need them to message you and just never reply. I mean, just don't reply to them because they're not worth it. I mean, they got no value. I mean, they have no business to give you. Whereas now, when somebody who is, let's say, famous comes up to you and says, I need you on my public speaking program because you have this and this and this, I need you to give these skills, please. I have 50,000 people who want to see you. Or else, yes, I'll go because that's something I need. Or else that's something I need. But when somebody from the area who grew up with you messages you on a toilet seat and they send you them shitting, and they're shitting and talking to you and they say, reply, please. I mean, don't reply. I mean, that individual has no value. I mean, if you reply to somebody who's shitting on the toilet seat, or it's because you deserve it. I mean, don't reply to those people. I mean, you're better than that. Or as either way, or as many people message me today from India and everywhere, or as they just say, I'm very inspirational, all this, but I don't reply. Although other people want to take away some money from me, or as they're just messaging me so they can make some money, I don't even reply to them. Or as other people asking me questions, but I don't even reply to them because I give them a free helpline inside my bio link, inside of my Instagram, but they're not interested to come and check it out. Or as they're not interested to come and or else they're not interested to come and join my nice beautiful WhatsApp group to get some information from me for free. Or else now, because of that, I never reply otherwise. I never reply to you otherwise. I only reply in my WhatsApp channel. I reply when I like to reply. Or else I love when you message me and not when I message you. I don't have to message you for anything. But either way, understand that you don't go asking other people for anything. You don't ask other people for anything other than information. So when you need information, you ask for information, but you don't ask them for permission. You don't ask them to do something. You ask them for anything that you need. I mean, what is it that you need? You can ask other people for that. You can ask other people for the information only. I understand either way. The information is something you need, but they can give you the information. Or else if they don't give you the information, they gave you information, then they don't have it. Whereas now, information is something that other people can never scam you about. Whereas I can never scam you about information. But my information is priceless. I never put a price on my information. Whereas it's something so much quality, or else it's so much quality, my information, that I never put a price on it. Or else it's worth more than $1 million. Or else this video is worth more than $1 million. I don't have to put a label that my information is $1 million, because somebody else can label the information $10 million. I mean, now, other people are saying that they're going to say the other individual is more quality because they're pricing their information at $10 million. And then another individual will come in and say, my information is worth $100 million. I mean, now everybody's going to go to the $100 million individual because now it's competition about money and it's not about freedom. Whereas when it's a competition with money, or else anybody who is in a competition with money is also labeling themselves, or else they're putting themselves at a price tag. So never put yourself at a price tag in the first place and understand I'm for free. I give my information for free. And now when somebody else gives the information for free, or else who's done more work? I have 10 years of work, whereas that individual has 1 year of work. I have more experience, don't I? So you come to the individual who has more experience in what they're talking about. It stands to realize I am not taking away from you. I'm only adding towards your life and my life, and that's that. Whereas that's how you really make a status, and that's how you really make attention. Although I find people who have this attention or something, and they have followers, and guess what? Or else they deserve it. Or else they deserve it somehow, because they have it, or else they have the numbers. Although I deserve more than them. I deserve more than what they have. You understand? Because I have more information I've given. I've given more information than them. So even though they have 66,000 followers and I have 12,000, or else that either way, or else that just because they have 66,000, you understand either way, I'm doing much better. I'm doing much better because I've given more information, products than them. I can see it. I mean, there's no lies over here. I promise you that people lie. People cheat you out. Although I'll never cheat you out. I'll never cheat you out with my information. Because my information can never cheat you out. But if you go around people who don't do information work, and they just want to be around you so they can waste your time, I mean, how are they wasting your time? I mean, they're not giving you much about business and life. And they just need a friend. I mean, they just need a companion. I mean, they just need somebody who is, let's say, like a dog. I mean, like a dog. I mean, you have a pet. I mean, you have a companion. And they just want to sit around you. And that's it. I mean, are they teaching you much? I mean, they're teaching you about themselves and how they are around you. But are they teaching you about life and stuff? I mean, they're still teaching you. But understand either way, you have to go and do something better. You have to go understand that Jesus will never own a dog. And Jesus will never go for a pet either. Because those pets as well are going to leave you. And the time you gave them is something that you can never get back. Whereas now, all that Jesus is saying here is give yourself the time instead of the dog. I mean, give yourself the time instead of other people. You're more worth your time than other people's time. Understand? I mean, don't be other people's time. I mean, don't give other people time. I mean, give yourself time, and that's that. I mean, just give yourself the time. I mean, there's so much time in your life. I mean, who you talk to is who you're giving your time. So just talk to yourself and don't talk to other people. I mean, that's what I'm saying. And when you do that, you understand why you can be independent and why you have a business and why you mind your business and why you love it, or else you understand also why you love thyself, and you understand why you're so confident and why you're great. You'll be great if you just talk to yourself and not other people. Or else other people don't have your best interest in mind. I have your best interest in mind all the time because you never have to talk to me. I never want you to talk to me. I never want you around me. I don't even want to be around you. You understand? I don't even want to be around you, but I want to teach you. You understand? I don't want to be around anybody except I. I just want to go where I want to go. I just want to be around myself. I don't want to be around you. I don't want to be around anybody else. I mean, just be around yourself. But guess what? I'll give you the information here. I don't have to waste your time over here. I don't have to waste your time. I'm not wasting my time. I mean, do you believe I'm wasting my time over here? I'm not wasting time. I'm not wasting time. I'm increasing my time. I'm increasing my legacy. I'm increasing my nice, beautiful capacity to give you information. I understand when I do that daily, I always make sure to go and do something different. I always make sure that I'm just much more and much more and much more. Because I understand other people just want to waste your time. I never want to waste your time. I just go and give you that knowledge that you need and go and do it for yourself. Understand? Because I understand that many aspects of life are going to lie to you. And they're going to say that they are your friend. But they'll backstab you eventually. I mean, what kind of ways are they going to backstab you? I mean, they'll backstab you by talking crap about you that is not real. And they're going to say that you said this and that they are disappointed in you and that they don't want to see you anymore because of that. I mean, because you said 2 words. I mean, like Daniela. I mean, understand. I understand either way. I never name her last name because it's very rude. Or else if you go and name people out of the blue, I understand either way. I mentioned her anyway inside of my Nice Beautiful Journal. I talk about everybody. So either way, understand that I just go and do something much greater. So anybody who is just doing themselves and understand either way that you just go and do you, because that way you understand that it's not about them, or else it's not about them, or else it's about you. But if other people judge you based on words and all that, or else they are not your friend, or else then real friends stick with you. I mean, who's my real friend today? I mean, who's my real family today? I mean, that's the answer in your life too. I mean, there's nobody else, because understand that you must grow yourself. You must grow thyself. So grow yourself around you only and not around other people. I mean, other people are jealous for how much you grow. I mean, other people are jealous about you. I mean, other people don't want you to succeed. I promise you, they don't want you to succeed. I mean, they want to be more successful than you. In a sense, so realize you go alone, because most people are not your friend. You are your only friend in life. You are your only true capacity in life. You are your only Jesus Christ. You are your only family. You understand? I'm saying this. I'm saying everything that I can to give you something that I am. I'm something more. I'm always more. So you have to be more. You have to understand every single day. I always have some more knowledge to give you. But I understand that what's important is I do it daily. I have to do knowledge daily. I have to give you daily knowledge so I can succeed. I have to succeed much more than yesterday, so I have to go do something different that I've never done. I have to speak in a different way. But I understand that those who give knowledge every single day are leaders. I understand that when you give knowledge daily, and when you do something daily to help yourself, you help thyself in everything. You help yourself in everything. You help yourself to expand your mind, and you'll also be curious, and you'll be able to go and indulge in that beautiful functionality that you have. But you make sure that every single step of the way, you learn, and you'll make sure to never unlearn anything. You understand? I mean, understand, if you're unlearning something, you're not really learning. You never unlearn something. You learn more. You just learn more. You never tried to take away your information. I mean, when you read a book about unlearning something, I mean, you're not unlearning, you're just learning more. You understand? Or else they name titles that you're going to unlearn something and then you're going to learn more. I mean, you don't unlearn, you just learn more. Whereas if you want to unlearn anything, you then step away from something that's hurting you, and then you understand why you're learning more. Understand? Whereas either way, understand that no matter what title it is, you must read the video of a YouTube link or any type of video that you're watching. You read the title first of the video and see what it's about first before you even watch it. Or else that when you go on Twitter, I mean, read everything that's happening on every single day, and make sure every single hour you go and post up in terms of your life. I mean, go and make sure that everything in terms of the headings and everything in terms of Twitter, every hour you understand the headlines and what's going on around the world. I mean, go and update yourself and make sure every single day you go and stay in tune with some mentors and myself every single day. I mean, we all teach you. I mean, we are teaching people, or else we're teaching people business, or else every single day business is communication. I understand that those who have a poor image have no communication skills. Actually, it's that simple. Actually, now, if you want anything, or else understand, you must understand that pornography is not the way to go. Understand that pornography is not also something that you need. Or else if you're watching porn, I understand that images, I understand the images of life help you. I understand images such as pornography can help you. Or else it can help you in some way to understand what they're doing. Or else when you're watching all these images, I mean, you understand that it doesn't hurt you to do so. Or else it doesn't hurt you to watch pornography images. But what hurts you is the masturbation. Whereas now, pleasure hurts you. Whereas if you have to eat so much, whereas if you have to eat so much food, whereas you have to understand that eventually you get fat and you look ugly. Whereas if you have to chase people for so much pleasure in life, whereas it's going to make you, whereas it's going to make you ugly. Understand? So what do? You delay gratification as much as you can, because delaying gratification is the best way to understand a peak performer, and it's also understanding something greater. You have to understand yourself. You have to understand that you have to be stronger than the pleasure. You have to be stronger to allow yourself to be greater. I understand that anybody who's not famous today is not choosing to be famous. I mean, they're not grabbing the spotlight. I grab the spotlight anywhere I can. I understand now, because of my nice, beautiful knowledge that I have in terms of what I've done already, I understand I have to go and pump up the music every single time I show up in front of people. Because I want the spotlight. I want people to look at me and what I have. I want people more and more to look at I. Because that's why I'm always making sure I'm growing. Making sure I'm growing, not because of them, but because of I. I have to do something greater. I have to go and do something I've never done. I have to make sure that every single day my videos are different, and I have different actions in terms of different persona and a different attitude every single day. I have to make sure that I'm toppling that nice, beautiful attitude of mine, because either way, or else my mentors don't do it even, or else some of them can do up to 3 hours. Or else now, they're not always doing it. Or else they're not doing it every day. I mean, let's just put it like that. They're not doing 3 hours every single day. And then, although, realize every single day that I go and do 1 hour. You have to understand that some of them are not even doing 1 hour every single day. I do every single day 1 hour. I do every single day 1 hour, and up to 5 hours, and up to 6 hours I can do. Although realize that what's important is consistency. And now, are they consistent? I say, yeah. I mean, are they dedicated? I probably shouldn't. I could say, yeah. Whereas now, are they someone successful? I say, yeah. Whereas now, are they outdoing me? I say, no. I'm doing more than them. I'm outdoing my mentors. I'm doing far more than they are in terms of my work. I realize at my age, in terms of 28, whereas they're all over 35. Whereas now, I'm doing far more than them at my age. I'm just outdoing them. You understand? Although everybody else, in terms of my 20 subscribers on YouTube, I thank you very much for following me. Although realize many people do not understand how much I do. When they don't understand the workload in terms of what I do, I find the time to do what I do. I make sure I don't waste time. I make sure I go in the spotlight as much as I can. And I stay away from people. I stay away from people as much as I can, because I understand that I is important. I understand I am more important than them. I understand I go and make myself a nice, beautiful legacy where I can go and just inspire people in a different way every single day, because I understand that's how you really live life. You live it in a different way. You live something much more. You live it in a way that you're going to be more. You have to be more all the time, but making sure you're always different in your actions. I understand now I can use this nice, beautiful table over here so I can go and rap and do some nice, beautiful singing along the way with my nice, beautiful table here. I just put my selfie stick and I just make sure to sing on the microphone over here, because I have no microphone like this. I mean, it's nice and beautiful when I have no microphone to speak on like this. Although I have a microphone, I just never speak on it in terms of a way that I understand that I never have to hold the microphone while I speak with the microphone. I have a microphone though. I speak with the microphone in a different way where it doesn't have to block my face. You understand? So it's a nice, beautiful quality video. Although I understand either way that I go and hang my microphone on top of my selfie stick, and that way you can hear me. You can hear me, although my microphone has a microphone head, and that way I understand I go and I do a more professional content where I understand it's quality videos that make it. Although what's the quality in your video? Or else it's called the audio, or else the audio and the video quality. And now the video quality is very simple, or else it's 720 HD and more. Or else now understand that my quality video is 4K, or else my quality video is 480 pixels in terms of on YouTube and on my Mega Drive. But why is that? I understand it's because I go and save a lot of time to upload these videos. I save time. Or else now 480 pixels is still enough quality. Or else it's still something that you can see my image and it's still something. Although 720 HD is much better. You understand? Or else anything over 720 HD is much better to upload. Although I understand that for myself, or else it's more 480 pixels. Because I understand this way, I have more time freedom. Or else by the time I upload 720 HD videos online, or else there's a lot of time that goes in between that, where a 5 hour, or else 5 hours of my life in a 5 hour video is a long time to upload with 720 HD and more. So I go on 480 pixels and I realize it's enough quality where you can see my image, but it's also much more time effective. I realize that instead of 5 hours of myself uploading a 5 hour video, I upload it in 2 hours instead of 5 hours. I upload it in 1 hour instead of 5 hours. You understand? So I save some time. So realize it can be effective for you to do so. I understand either way that my audio quality in terms of my MP3 is always excellent. I say it's excellent all the time. I understand either way that the most quality video that you can make is make it more HD and find yourself in a better way. You understand? I mean, the more HD you have, the better. I mean, let's just put it like that. I mean, 720 HD is much better than 480 pixel. Although, for time, I say no. I mean, time. I mean, understand that either way, you have to find the time. You have to find yourself the time to be able to upload either way. But understand the time effectiveness of 480 pixels is much better than 720. I mean, you have to put it. I mean, so what's more effective? Whereas if you're going for more time freedom, I mean, go and understand that 480 pixels is more than enough. But if you want more quality, or else then you're gonna be extracting some time for that, and then you're gonna be uploading extra in sometimes. So understand that either way, you must pick your version of what you want. But the quality videos and the basic formula of videos is upload more quality and more HD into your videos, and also MP3. Make sure you understand. You have to make sure you understand that the people around you are not buzzing through your videos much. I mean, make sure that there is no vehicles running across your video in terms of your audio. Make sure it's silent. I mean, make sure your audio is silent with just your voice, like you hear me right now. I mean, that's audio quality. And that's that. I mean, what else do you want? I mean, otherwise, you have to add these advertisements into your videos. You have to add music into your videos. I mean, that's simple, but I never do it. I never do music in my videos, in terms of my YouTube videos. I mean, why? I like to get straight into the teaching and no fancy stuff. I mean, what? I mean, when they go and do these repetition of advertisements on every single video, I mean, wow, you've watched it a million times. I mean, when I start my video, I mean, every single second is different. I mean, when I start my video, I realize when you start every single video that I make, I realize there's no advertisements. I mean, isn't that good? I realize that's excellent. I realize also, my video starts off differently as my advertisement. I mean, why does it have to be somebody else's advertisement? Whereas other people posting other people's advertisements on their videos. You understand? I realize why? Because they care for other people. I don't care for other people, I care for I only. I love my own advertisements. I don't want other people's advertisements on my video. Whereas that Joe Rogan, for example, just made a nice, beautiful deal with Spotify. And now, is it a beautiful deal? Or it's not a beautiful deal. Because understand that he now is sold on money. And now he has to go on YouTube and post 3 videos a day that are up to 10 minutes to promote Spotify, while he only ever posts his video now on Spotify and not on YouTube anymore. Whereas now he got some money for that. I mean, for the rest of his life. I mean, for the next 72 years. And he has to post it on Spotify over YouTube. You understand? And he's losing customers. I mean, really fast. Because on YouTube, or else there's a different audience. And on Spotify, or else not everybody uses Spotify. I mean, not everybody uses Spotify, and not everybody has a phone. But understand, not everybody has a phone for YouTube and all that either. But guess what? Now, I understand that other people don't want to go on Spotify to listen to him. Or else they want to watch the video of him. Or else now, he's saying for everybody to go on Spotify to listen to his audios. I mean, how about his videos? I mean, his videos are bullshit. You understand? Or else his videos, he's got no videos anymore. Well, they understand either way that he still posts 30 minutes on YouTube of his videos. But understand they're just small clips. Or else he used to do these nice, beautiful 3-hour segments of videos. Whereas now, Spotify bought him out and said, you must post on Spotify only because we own you. Or else if I love your, or else now I never do that, but say Spotify loves your podcast and you go on YouTube and you're posting 3 hours every day. And then guess what? Or else they say, we'll give you some money and we'll give you this much. I mean, I just need you to go and post on Spotify and also post 3 segments on YouTube for up to 30 minutes. Or else then you accept the deal. You understand? And now you got the money. I mean, they'll give you the money. Or else millions of dollars they give you. I mean, big deal. I mean, over 40 years now and over 50 years, you have to post no videos of yourself, but up to 30 minutes only on YouTube and not 3 hours anymore. Or else then you have to go on audio and you have to put audio into Spotify and just leave it there. I mean, what's that now? I mean, where else are you going to promote your content? Because Spotify bought you out. I mean, Spotify bought you out. So you have to promote where they want you to promote. Because that's a contract. I mean, you're working for them and you're not working for anything else now. Or else now, if you break the contract, you have to give back all the money. Or else now, you have to give them all the money back. And then go make your YouTube video and all that. In a sense, of realize that you don't go to people who want to sponsor you to give you money so that they own your content. Because guess what? Or else when somebody buys your content out, or else they own you for a certain period of time. So never ever go be sponsored by other people. I mean, never be sponsored by other people where they give you money so that you can go and promote yourself on their vibes and their applications. And only on their, and they give you money just to promote yourself only on their applications. I mean, don't do it. Because I'll never let anybody buy me out for money. I never work for money. Or as soon as he gets the money, or as soon as you get the money and you work for the money and you say yes to the money, or as now, because you said yes to the money, or as the deal is that you have to go and do what they want you to do. Or as now, if you understand that, for example, Spotify came to me and said, I'll give you $1 trillion. But you have to post your content just on Spotify, and it's only audio that we want you to post, and that's that. I mean, we don't want you to post your video of you anywhere else but Spotify, which is audio program only. And they're saying for me only to post audio programs. I say, I don't care about your $1 trillion. I don't care about that. Because I want people to see my face. I want people to see my face. Or else my face is more than $1 trillion. In a sense, so realize if I say yes to the money, I may have $1 trillion, but then, or else I lost customers over here, or else now I have to work for them over the next 70 years. And then if the contract is broken over a long period of time, I have to give them back the money. So realize, or else they have so much money to give you. And if they buy you out, or else they just have another employee who's promoting them. You understand? So realize that you go and do something better than being sponsored, or else do something better than being sponsored by other people. And realize that there's many of my mentors who have all these nice, beautiful YouTube videos where they have content. Well, some people post 1 minute. I mean, don't post 1 minute. I mean, post 1 hour videos and post up to 2 hours and 6 hours of your nice, beautiful information. And do not waste time on 1 minute videos that you post online. I mean, that doesn't grab attention. I mean, it doesn't make you anything big. I mean, go and make these nice, beautiful videos about audios, such as I am today. I mean, that's a quality video. Or to understand that some people, like, for example, Tim Ferriss, or as he goes and promotes other people's companies, and Tom Bilyeu as well, or as they have advertisements on their videos. And they say, support this program over here because they use it, and it's $30 a month. I mean, already $30 a month, or else they're selling you on these other companies with money, or else, and they use it, or else they use it, or else now they're going to use some, or else next week, or else they're going to use other people's products too, and they're going to sell other people's products on there, and they're using everything. I mean, they're using 1 billion products. You understand? Although realize, or else that's how it sounds, or else every single advertisement is somebody else's product that they're selling. I mean, it's so fake. You understand that what's fake about it is understand that they're selling you for money. I mean, that's fake. I mean, if I say now, I mean, guys, I mean, you guys understand that there's this nice, beautiful bread loaf over here by the company Wholemeal Sandwich Sliced Bread. Either way, this company is very big, and I use the bread. I use the bread all the time, but subscribe for $30 a month and you can get, I mean, come on. I mean, you understand? I mean, it doesn't work. I mean, don't do that, please. I mean, don't go and promote other people's company and say, slice of bread, please, and $30 a month, and you get a bonus package, and I'll give you also, I'll give you a hand wipe or something. I mean, do you understand? I mean, how stupid is that? Or is them are mentals? Although understand that what happens after the advertisement is what they're teaching. And I like that. I like what they're teaching, but they're selling all these hand wipes, and or they're selling bottles of water and all of that. I mean, come on. I mean, come on. What are you doing? I mean, come on. I mean, it sounds like that because you understand they're selling something for money, and it doesn't matter if it's a bottle of water or not. Whereas if I sell you a bottle of water for money, it's like selling an elephant for money. I mean, come on. You have to understand that either way, I mean, go and make common sense of your advertisements and understand to advertise yourself and your product and not other people's products. And now, what is your product that you sell and not other people's products? Because other people's products are not your products, and don't have other people's products on your product is what I'm saying. Because when you have other people's product on your product, you have been bought out by somebody to do that. I mean, somebody gave you money and you're working for the money and not for your company from that point. Or else when you always have to promote, or else they say, you, sir, or else we're giving you this many money. I mean, make sure you promote this one and go promote this one and give them this one over here. And tomorrow you're gonna promote this for us. You're gonna promote the fork, and I'll give you also. I mean, if you're a vegan, I mean, come on. I mean, or else come on. Or else either way, that if you're a vegan, you don't sponsor meat eaters. You know, or as they'll say, promote this bottle of water, please, and make sure that you understand you clean yourself up when you go and promote this one too. Or else either way, or else that they'll start to throw all these products at you, and then guess what? You guys can find this product. I use it. I mean, is that what you want? I mean, and then every single day they're gonna post some new nice products for you to put on your TV show and promote this bread, please. And promote everything. I mean, promote the bottle. I mean, everything. I'll show you something. I have everything in my life. Although understand that they are now suffocating you in your program. Because now you have to sit for 10 minutes of your life every single day. You post a video, you must promote their product. I mean, before you even start your content, you have to promote them before you even start your content. I mean, is that worth it? I say no. So it's not worth doing it. So realize either way, I mean, you can save 10 minutes of your life every single day for the next 72 years. Just by not promoting other people. I mean, how much time is that? I understand either way that it's a time. I mean, 10 minutes a day, or else it's over 1 year of your life. I mean, 1 year of your life you can save right now by not promoting other people's products. I mean, go and calculate 10 minutes times 365. And then go times 72 years. Or let's say whatever your age is. I mean, let's just calculate it up to the 100 mark. Or else my age is 28. So I have another 72 years to eat, or else I have another 72 years to reach 100. So I calculate by 72 years. I then realized that if I turn 35, I didn't realize that there's 65 years to 100, so I'll calculate it by 65 years. So either way, I realized 10 minutes times 365. Alright, now I understand I have to download a calculator over here, but either way, you have to understand that a calculation of life is understand your numbers. You must understand what you are. I deleted the calculator from my phone, but realize either way, that you understand 10 minutes times 365, then you times it by 72. And then what you do is, you divide it by 60. And why is it divided by 60? Because 60 minutes equates to 1 hour. And then you'll get a number of how much hours that is. And then go divide by 24. And then you'll get a number, which is by days. And then you'll realize the day's number. And then you divide it by 30. And why 30? Because 30 days in a month. And then you realize how much months that is. And then you divide by 12. Because in a year, there is 12 months. And then you realize you'll get the number. And it's over 1. You understand? Whereas that number is over 1. Or else either way, understand that 177 days, or else now 177 days, understand either way, that is 340 days or something of your life. You can save right now. But just not promoting people. You understand? So realize, either way, that you go and just make sure that your numbers are much better than yesterday. But realize, don't promote other people. I mean, don't promote other people. I mean, don't promote them. I mean, if you're going to promote other people, I mean, make an extra Instagram and promote other people. I mean, make sure you understand my Instagram. Or else my Instagram is just I don't promote other people on my Instagram because they don't have my best interest in mind. I mean, other people do not have your best interest in mind unless they have a photo with you. Or else if they're having a photo with you, or else it's your best interest. Or else if they just want you to promote, or else if they want to give you money so you promote them, or else they don't have your best interest in mind, or else they're selling out. I mean, do not sell out. I mean, do not sell out. Whereas if you sell out for money, you've lost your business. You're heartbroken then. Or else that Joe Rogan, for example, over the next 40 years has to work for Spotify. I mean, 40 years? I mean, that guy has to always be promoting their content and their product. I mean, for what? I mean, for 10 million bucks? I mean, 40 years. Every single day. I mean, stuff like that. You understand? Whereas now, let's say another company like Amazon comes and buys him out as well. Whereas now he has to promote 2 companies for money. Or else, let's just say Tesla Motors comes and says, Joe Rogan, I mean, come and I'll give you money. You promote me too. I mean, now he's promoting 3 advertisements. I mean, now let's say McDonald's comes and says, Joe Rogan, I mean, come. You sold out to these 3. I mean, sold out to me. I mean, come and promote my products too. Then what else? I mean, what kind of advertisement companies? What kind of companies are in today's world? I mean, all those companies come to Joe Rogan and say, Joe Rogan, I'll give you more money. I'll give you more money, man. I'll give you all the money you want. I mean, just put my product on your TV show. Whereas now, his TV shows become other people's products. I mean, his TV shows other people's products now and not his products anymore. I mean, he sold out his business, totally. I mean, he lost his life. Whereas now, if he wants to cut the nice, beautiful sponsorships that he has from those companies, otherwise he has to break the contract and then he has to give them all the money back. And he lost the time. Or else he lost his time there as well. Or else he lost his time because if he's been doing it for 10 years and he breaks the contract, or else then he has to return all the money. And the 10 years that he lost, or else he never gets that back. Because that's how it is. So realize, don't place other people's advertisements on your videos. I mean, keep your videos for yourself. And keep your videos strictly just teaching something. I mean, forget them. I mean, don't do it for the money. I mean, don't do it for the money. I mean, don't advertise other people's money. I mean, don't advertise other people's anything on your products. I mean, my product, I mean, it's so much better when it starts off as my product and just gets into the, or else it just gets into the teaching. Rather than 5 minutes, please. Whereas after this 5-minute program, I'll just show you my real content. Whereas although for the first 5 minutes, I just have to advertise this because there's a nice, beautiful wholemeal bread sandwich. And I understand that no matter what, this one over here has a nice, beautiful ingredient, which is wholemeal wheat. And I understand no matter what, that you have a legend advice over here. And I mean, it's a 4-star program over here. And there's also a barcode. You can also tap it like this. And when there's a tap code, or the nice beautiful address is over here, or the address is the Vista, New South Wales. And I understand this company is a very nice beautiful company because I own that product. I do that product. I understand no matter what. I understand over here, or that it's something with dietary sugar where you can always get nice beautiful sugar. And that's bullshit. Understand? And that's bullshit because you don't have other people's best interest in mind when you do that. Understand? Whereas now, because I've got nothing to sell you on money for, Because I have no other advertisements except my own advertisement here, which is for free. I'm not selling myself for money. I have to promote products that other people want me to. I'm a free agent for life. I get to keep my 100% royalty. I never sell myself for money. Understand? Or else each and every single one of my videos is starting new and different, but content right away, please, and not other people's programs. I don't need other people's advertisements on my videos. I promise you, you don't need other people's advertisements on my videos, do you? You don't need me to go start selling you bread when I'm talking about life coaching. You understand? I mean, how does that work? And that doesn't work. And that's not part of life coaching. When life coaching will teach you what the bread is. Whereas now, I'll teach you my actual life coaching business over here. Although I use this one, but I'll never sell it to you. I'll never sell it to you for money. Whereas that, I use wholemeal bread. I go wholemeal bread and it's 4-star. I use 4-star food and up to 5-star food. I use when I'm eating something. And I'm just giving you a life strategy here because anything that's wholemeal bread is really much more better than white bread and multigrain bread. Because guess what? I realize white bread has egg in it and it also has a process. It goes through a process, and white bread is more unnatural than wholemeal, because wholemeal bread is made through different regulators and it goes through different systems where they don't burn off the nutrients from the bread. Understand? Wholemeal bread does not burn its nutrients. Understand? But whereas when you see white bread, whereas it's white bread because there's no nutrients in it. Understand? Whereas when it goes through the nice beautiful process, in terms of the white bread, you have to understand white bread is not beautiful, but guess what? I'm beautiful. I'm more beautiful than white bread. I'm more beautiful than this world. Understand? Either way, you have to understand understand that the white bread of life that goes through the processor is heated and it's burning off, or else the heat is burning off the nutrients from the bread, and it becomes less nutrients than the actual wholemeal bread. Although in white bread, or else they add egg in it. I'm a vegan, so I never eat white bread. Whereas now multigrain is the same thing, or else it goes through a different process and it gets heated and it loses most of its nutrients. Whereas now wholemeal bread does not go through that process. Wholemeal bread goes through a different process where it's just wholemeal and it stays with most of its nutrients. Or it stays with its own nutrients, and it helps you to understand that it has nothing but the ingredients that says on it. Whereas although understand that in the white bread it may say that it may have egg. Understand? Although realize either way, they understand that no matter what, I realize this video is something that I understand it's 2 hours now. I can go extra, but understand either way that what you understand every single day is understand that sponsorships with other people is nothing. Whereas now, if they call you and they say, I need you to come speak at this nice beautiful seminar, or I need you to come DJ for me, and you just go DJ. You have your own money, you have everything already, you just go because that's your passion, but you're not doing it for the money. Don't do it for the money. Do it because you love to do it. I do that all the time. I make sure every single day you understand that my advertisements and my videos starts with just my videos. Otherwise there's no fancy shit in my videos. There's no how much real estate I have. I have all the real estate in the world in my knowledge. You're not going to fool me with your jet. You're not fooling me with your jet. I don't need a jet, man. I don't need a jet. What am I going to do with a jet? I'll be traveling alone with that. While people having sex with other people? Or else, either way, understand that I don't care about that. Or else, what I care about is having more than what I do. Although I realize that a jet is not for everybody. I realize a private jet, what are you going to do with a private jet when you're just alone? And you have no wife in here, and you have no kids, but you have you, and it's just you on the private jet with your pilot. How boring is that? That's so boring. You understand? Whereas I understand that there's this nice beautiful saying that the man who is richer, who has a wife or a husband, in terms of, you have to understand that it just goes like this. Whereas the man who has a richer life is the one who is living in a tent with a wife and kids, while the one who has a mansion is alone. Who's richer? The man who has a wife and kids is richer. How is it? Because how? Guess what? Or is that you have to understand that being alone is something rich. or as being alone, or as that I can see Jesus with that mansion. I can see Jesus being alone with a mansion. Because Jesus doesn't have a wife and kid. And Jesus doesn't have kids and a wife. Understand? Although, guess what? Although, I understand that there's nothing to support that information. Really. Is there? I understand either way. I understand it's much better than you understand. I have no need for a jet, though. I have no need for a mansion. Because what is it going to support me for? Whereas I only have I there. Whereas that I have no need for a mansion. I have no need for a jet. Whereas now, if I have a wife and kids, I mean, there's no need for a mansion either. Whereas now, why not? I realize now, why not? I realize, why not have a mansion if I have a wife and kids then? I mean, why not? I mean, if it's for free, I mean, do it. But I realize something now. I understand if I'm alone in that mansion, I mean, why not? I mean, why not have a mansion if it's for free? I mean, why not? I mean, it's for free. I mean, have a mansion too. You understand? I mean, even if you're alone. I mean, there's no shame in being alone. You understand? Whereas now, understand either way that no matter what, I realize that quote is something that I just banish in my life. But either way, I understand that no matter what, you must understand that either way, I feel in my life that I have no need for a jet. I have no need for a mansion in my life. I don't need it. And why is that? Because I'm alone. I'm alone. Whereas now, if I have a wife and kids, whereas now I understand either way, I understand what for. I mean, why would I need a mansion to live my life? I mean, I say, give me the money. I have the money already. I have all the money already. You have to understand either way. I understand either way. I just go traveling the world with my wife and kids, and I travel the world without them as well, alone. I mean, there's no shame about that. But either way, understand that what's important is understand that right now I don't need a jet. I don't need a jet because it's not with me. Whereas that what you don't have right now is what? Whereas you must have everything right now. I have everything right now. You must have everything right now. You must understand that the jet is not the solution. Which is not a solution to go doing anything other than yourself today. You have to understand that it's really, make sure that you go give that content more and more in your daily life. And understand that life is to be lived much greater. You have to live your life much greater. You have to understand that life is also making sure that you understand yourself. I mean, understand yourself much more, but you have to go and do that nice, beautiful video daily. You have to understand you have to go and give that nice video every single day and make sure that it's different all the time. I mean, understand this. I mean, just never be ashamed to be alone and make sure that you go run away from the crowd, because the crowd's not going to help lift you. I mean, the crowd's not going to help you, and your parents are not going to help you. I mean, they may give you some plastic money. I mean, wow. I mean, plastic money doesn't help you. I mean, the air conditioner that your father gave you as your biological dad or mum doesn't help you, really. I mean, it doesn't help you. I mean, anything that's from the outside world, or as they can give you the outside world, I mean, the outside world is not what you need. You need something inside. You need to be spiritual. You need to grow spiritually. Or else that's what I teach you throughout my videos. I'll see you guys in the next video, and understand either way that I'm always developing thyself. I'm always making sure that I go and grow thyself. I grow my mindset. I grow my spirituality through professional development of public speaking in front of a crowd as much as I can. And I do it alone. I don't call other people to come with me because I don't need them. I don't need them to travel the world. I don't need them to be something fake toward me. You understand? So realize anyway that you guys understand something very important. I mean, understand your I. I mean, understand who you are. I mean, understand why understand why you can actually be more. You have to be more. You have to be more of everything, and understand to love yourself and to love life to the fullest, because there's nothing greater than knowing I.